Hello and welcome to today's videos. We're going to go over 17 unique champions selected during the regular season of the four major regions. I understand the LCK is still going on, but now that all teams are locked in, there's a chance for troll games, and I'm not really too interested in what happens. These are glorified scrims, pretty much for the last few days in the LCK. However, these picks all occurred during summer regular season in the four major regions. If a pick was picked in the regular season and then in the playoffs, I tried to not include it, but I did end up adding Aurelia and Cassiopeia in the end because I changed my mind. But at first, I did not want to include them. LPL summer placements, I did not include champions that were picked during that time at all, in part due to the fact that it was Fearless Draft, and that would cater to having more champions selected than in a normal situation. Next year, of course, with Fearless Draft being more adopted, it will change things when it comes to looking at champion presence, etc. There is a champion I did not include despite being picked in LPL summer placements, and it was Annie. Malzahar as well. Two of those champions were picked in the LPL in placements quite a bit, and in the regular season once, but I did not include them. So, in the top lane, we have 5 picks. We start with Kled. It was picked by Finn of Rogue into Mirwin's Renekton. You're going to find that 4 of the 5 top lane selections with these unique picks were into Renekton. Finn would lose. He had a 1-2 KDA, 1.73 return on investment, so did deal a good amount of damage relative to the gold. 25% of his team's damage share, which is one of the higher numbers on the board, actually second highest on here. Laning phase went meh. I mean, down 80 gold, but up 14 CS. Fake God played Pantheon in the LCS and would win into Licorice's Renekton. 1.7 KDA, a 1.3 return on investment, which is damage divided by gold. Damage and gold relatively close, around 1/5. In laning phase, relatively even. LCK Doran, playing for HLE, picked Quinn into Zeus's Renekton, and he would lose. One of the worst games on here. Stat-wise, low KDA, return on investment, of course, is going to be high. The laning stats are going to be high because he's playing Quinn into Renekton. That's obviously going to happen. We also have to keep in mind lane swaps and things of that nature. Set, picked by Bwippo into Impact's Rumble, was a loss. 0.5 KDA, 1.29 return on investment, had a very high damage share of 30% and only 19% gold share. That's very efficient in terms of what the team's giving you in resources, priority of resources relative to the damage you're dealing for it. But ended up very behind in the laning phase, behind almost 3,400 gold. Game was lost before it began. Adam of BDS picked Volibear, the only Volibear selection of summer, into Mirwin once again, his Renekton. And Adam would win. 9.5 KDA, a very good game. 1.27 return on investment, 20 damage share, 22 gold share, and was ahead nearly 1,000 gold over Mirwin in that matchup. In the jungle role, we had unique picks. Boogie picked Evelyn into Rivers Sejuani, and that was not the only interesting champion matchup within that best of 3, and we'll go over it in a couple minutes. But Boogie played into Rivers Sejuani and would win. 8 KDA, 1.87 return on investment, which is the highest on the board. 23% of the team's damage, and up 1,100, nearly 1,200 gold over River. Makes sense. River's playing Sejuani, more facilitator-oriented. Boogie did have a solo in that game. Peanut picked Fiddlesticks for HLE into Pioshik's Zyra and would win. All 3 of the unique jungle picks did come out victorious. Went deathless, 1.44 KDA, a clean spread in share. Laning stats a bit interesting, up over 700 gold, but down 19 CS, so Pioshik going around and farming, where Peanut making things happen. And the other matchup from Shopify Rebellion 100 Thieves occurred when River would pick Kane into Boogie's Lilia. And that was a win for River. 2.3 KDA, 124 return on investment, only 15% damage share, however, and was behind quite a bit. Boogie won that matchup in the laning phase. River was behind 740 gold and 35 CS, but end up winning in the end. Mid lane, BDD picked Vigar into Showmaker's Talia and would lose. 2.2 KDA, 1.67 return on investment, 26% of the team's damage, a good amount, and 22% of gold. Laning phase, pretty much even. Jensen played Zillion into APA Ziggs and would lose. 0.5 KDA, under 1 return on investment. Very glorified support performance out of Jensen. 14% of the team's damage, no wonder why they lost, and he was behind nearly 775 gold. Aurelia, picked by Nenny into Fofo's Zeri, would win. He had a 5.5 KDA for IG in the LPL, the only LPL player listed on the board. 1.36 return on investment, and share pretty much even, 21% damage, 22% gold. APA picked Cassiopeia into Jensen's Tristana, which is in the same matchup as the Zillion matchup. So once again, we have another double dose of an LCS best of 3. APA would win, 2.3 KDA. However, once again, under 1 damage per gold. So glorified support, 16% of damage. The mid laners did not determine this series, at least in the damage department. He was up quite a bit, though, over 900 gold over Jensen's Trist in that one, and had a solo kill. Worth noting, solo kill is a big deal when we're looking at these matchups. No 80 carries. Samira was picked a couple times. That was the closest one. Otherwise, no 80 carries picked that were unique. Lux. Picked by Keria. Keria is the only player that appears on this board multiple times. No surprise given his champion pool. This is why I sing his praises like I do. He would win on Lux into Barrel's Nautilus. Despite having many Caitlyn games this season, well, I wouldn't say many, but probably a handful across the 4 major regions, only once was Lux alongside it. T1 would win against KT, 4 KDA, 122 return on investment for the carry-oriented support pick, 15% damage, and the bot lane 2v2, Guma Carrier were up 3,600 gold, 46 CS, 1270 XP, and did have a 2v2 kill. Mickey X of G2 picked Melio into Zolis's Blitzcrank and would win. 2.2 KDA, 0.55 return on investment. I mean, this is a support, so we're not really too interested in the damage. They were up 1,500 gold. Not a big surprise, though. Something we also have to think about. I'm not saying that these picks necessarily won these games. A lot of these games are not a big surprise, really, when you think about it. Like Rogue Mad Lions, let's look at this for a second. Rogue and Mad Lions in the first matchup. I mean, Mad did not play well in summer. You could see it going either way. Shopify beating Dig. I mean, that was a surprise. Dig, much better than Shopify after a while there. Doran and so the Quinn and Renekton matchup, that could go either way between HLE T1. FlyQuest TL could go either way. BDS into Mad Lions, they should beat them anyways. Shopify into 100 Thieves. Maybe the pick helped, and vice versa. The pick helped River. On the other side of the matchup, I mean, HLE normally beat KT either way. KT beating DK, that could go either way. Dig into TL. TL win that one regardless. IG Team We. Maybe the Aurelia picked help. I would say IG are better than Team We. And, I mean, TL are better than Dig. So a lot of these matchups are just, you can say, oh, well, you're really saying going either way, so maybe that pick did make a difference. It's like, yeah, theoretically, I guess if it could have went either way, then yeah, there is a chance for that. Shen for Barrel. He played it into Brian and lost into Palu's Alistar, and that could be why they lost, because no one else picked Shen, and Bro are definitely worse than KT. 1.4 KDA, 0.76 return on investment, and the laning phase went pretty even, down 200 gold for Deft and Barrel. Keria played Soraka into DRX. DRX played to playing Renata. Keria would go Deathless. And Guma Keria were up about 2,200 gold and did have a 2v2 kill. KC's Targamas played Yumi into Rahel Luan playing Lucian Nami. They would lose. KC would lose that one. 2 KDA, 0.82 return on investment. And Upset Targamas were ahead in that one, 800 gold at the time at 15 minutes. I used 15-minute splits for this. It was just easier looking at the box score instead of trying to dig for the stats and where I put them for individual matchups. So, that's 17 unique picks, I guess. Really think about it. Like, some of these picks have been common over the years. We have seen a lot of set over the years, Volley Bear at times. Caitlin Lux has been common the last couple of years. Yumi, of course, very popular, but there are some fringe picks here that we barely see and are unique. Evelyn, Kane, Fiddlesticks in the Jungle, especially. Zillion, really only a couple players even consider playing that. Quinn Top, not often picked. Pantheon, not often picked. Kled, one trick pick Kled. So it's one of those things where a lot of these are OTPs and things like that are picking these champions. Now, of course, people say, yeah, but 6 years ago. Yeah, I'm talking about like the last couple of years. Recent memory. But nevertheless, just, comment down below with which picks you thought were the most interesting when they occurred. So do that. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.